Welcome to Abundance Recoded. Today we talk about something that is very important in this world we find ourselves in. This focus is not only important for the world itself, but is important for our daily lives and what our hopes and dreams are about our future, or even what it feels like to feel safe and secure in this moment. This is focus. Not something that many people talk about. It is something that is glazed over, maybe heard in manifesting and reality creation, but many still may not understand how important focus actually is. In circles around YouTube and other sources that I read from time to time, focus is like the key thing. It is the driving force behind most building of money and wealth in this country, if not the world. And your focus is key to getting you to buy something, act a certain way, maybe not act a certain way, because where you focus the most is what you draw to you. So if you're spending endless hours on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you are spending your personal currency of focus on what someone else wants you to focus on. And that may not seem important, but it is, because your focus and what you choose to spend your time on and give your power to is exactly what you'll experience more of in your life. So if the outside world can distract you from focusing on the things you actually do want to do, or having hope, or having possibility, or even tapping into your true potential, then you're going to do what they want you to do because you're so focused on everything that you're seeing on social media or a news source. If it's not social media, it's on the TV or your phone, wherever. And that is the currency of the modern day world. It's focus. It's part of marketing. It's part of drama, TV. It is literally to get you to focus on something so that you will buy something, so that you'll do something or not do something. But as the world moves through 2026 and we go through this tipping point in the summer of 2026 where your soul is asking you, what do you actually want? Do you want more of the same? Do you want to actually just stay stuck all the time, or do you actually want to move? Actually want to have the life that you know you came here for? Maybe you can't name it, maybe you can't understand it, but you can feel it within you that this life was supposed to be more, that this life was supposed to be easier, more fun, more love, more joy, more abundance. But yet, no matter what you do, no matter what strategy you take, it just seems to be out of reach. And in this summer of 2026, we're being asked, are you actually ready to start to move the needle? And are you willing to do what is necessary to actually move the needle to receive and experience that life that you know that you came for? Underneath, you know that this was all supposed to be easier, that life was supposed to be easier, but yet it just escapes you no matter what you do. And you've watched many others make it look easy, and you wonder why not you. And there are many reasons why, but the one reason that is most important right now is focus. Because focus is part of creating your reality, and it is part of manifesting. It is part of how you are able to experience that reality that you know you actually came here for, instead of the one of struggle. But if you're constantly focused on outside things that are based on struggle, then you're only going to be thinking things about struggle. And because you're the cause and effect of your reality and what reality you experience in your outside world, if your focus is constantly on survival or struggle, whether it's your story or someone else's, that is all that you will ever see in your own reality. It is how the field works. It's not good nor bad. The quantum field doesn't care whether it's going to cause you more pain and struggle or whether it's going to give you hope and joy. It says, oh, that's what you want, because that's the story and the focus that you have. A good example of this is when it comes to money. Many of us crave having hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank account, if not millions, and yet we are constantly focused on social media or the news on all the things that tell us that we don't have it. And while you pine for the $100,000 in your bank account or $500,000, most of your time is focused on not having it. And reality creation and manifesting really is ones and zeros. It is you either have it or you don't have it. And in every moment you are choosing. You doing a manifestation ritual or a reality creation ritual or anything to get you what you think you want, and taking 5-10 minutes or half an hour, and then right away go back to choosing the stories of struggle. And know that this is not a conscious thing. Your mind and your nervous system will divert you back to familiar at any chance it can get. So when you spend all that time doing whatever rituals or practices that you do in order to manifest, with visualization or meditation or affirmations, there's so many different exercises. If you do them, and then the minute you do that, you go back to your old ways, you've just canceled out that thing that you did for 30 minutes. Because time is an illusion. You only have this now moment. Who are you choosing to be in every now moment is the key. And if you spend 30 minutes doing a practice to manifest that $500,000, and then you go right back to my bank account is empty, I have a lot of bills, the economy sucks, energy prices are going up, food prices are going up, all the stories that are out there. And then immediately you go and choose that reality. Every moment you are choosing the station, like on a TV or a radio station or Hulu, wherever, what station, what movie you're playing in your own reality. And that's where focus comes in, because if you're not focused on staying the identity, which is the channel that you want to be in every moment, and it doesn't mean you won't have slip-ups, we all do, but if you don't get yourself back there as fast as possible and shift your focus, you are telling the field and the quantum that you want to still experience the same struggles, the same woe is me, the same pain meaning like your bank account being empty or unexpected bills or credit card debt, whatever that is. If you spend more time focused on how much you don't have, you are literally telling the quantum field that that's what you want. You have to spend more time focused on what you do want. But you have to tell yourself you already have it, because the future is always the future. Now, I don't think that we have to have the words right. It's not about the words. It's about the intention and it's about trust. Do you trust yourself? Do you fully trust the universe to meet you halfway with this? But it starts with your focus. If you are spending hours on, or even, more than, I would say 10, 15 minutes on a social media platform, or that isn't business related, meaning like you have to be on there for your business, or a news platform, or a podcast that isn't focused on what you actually want, then you're choosing a reality of more of the same. You'll just have Groundhog Day after Groundhog Day, and I freaking have been there, and it sucks. Because in every moment, we are choosing who we are. We are choosing whether we are the version of us who has it, or we're the version of us who doesn't have it. That is literally how simple this is. And how you know whether you believe you are the person who has it is what you focus on when you're not thinking about whether you have it or don't have it. Because choosing in the moment to say, I have it all, is just this moment. It doesn't mean that I don't have it all in the next moment. I do, until I choose to tell myself a story and focus on the fact that I don't have it. And this can be applied to anything. Abundance is so much more than money, but people tie abundance to money. It could be having a partner. If you desire a partner, and spend the time imagining him or her, and then in the next moment are upset because you don't have them, you're telling the universe that you want to experience not having them. So you have to be aware of your focus. Yes, social media and the news love, or even TV of any kind, would love to pull our focus away. But it's bigger than that. What are you focusing on your day-to-day? What do you actually want more of? Can you let go of whatever's in your bank account, credit cards, bills, pricing, and realize that everything that's outside of you is literally the creation of the story you told yourself yesterday, or the day before, and the day before that. Everything you're experiencing outside is based on the past, not this now moment. But every time you look at the outside world with your focus on what you don't have, you're reaffirming that that's what you want to experience more of. So we're in this pendulum shift all the time, especially right now, where many of us are starting to talk about these things, and whether you have been aware of them or not, it's important for you to understand. So focus. What are you focusing on most of the time during the day? Your struggle, the emptiness, the lack of all the things that you desire? Or are you being the authority in your reality and saying, no, I have it all, regardless of what the outside world tells you, and then feeding yourself with things that align with that instead of what you don't want? Because that is really the crux of it. Either you have it or you don't have it. And someone else had used this example, and I think it's great because, as a coder, I did computer programming for a long time. Everything is ones and zeros, on or off. And having what you want is just a switch. You have the switch, no one else has it, and it's your focus. Do you have it on or off? Do I have it or not have it? And being aware of when you slip, and you will. And then choosing to go back to, no, I have it. And to tell yourself that no matter what the outside world tells you until it shifts, and it will. And some days you're going to feel like it's a losing battle. But that's because your nervous system and your mind are trying to protect you and keep you stuck in the familiar. And it can do this in a very stealthy way, which I've seen with clients and even myself. And it can sometimes feel like you're in a prisoner of it, but it still doesn't get to have authority over you. You choose who you are in every moment. And there's a reality where your nervous system and mind are not doing this, and it's familiar and normal for you to have everything that you want, the money, the partner, the success, the joy. It already exists. That's what the channel is. But who are you identifying with? And when you identify with that version, the version that has it or doesn't have it, when you're choosing to be the one that has it, where are you putting your focus? You cannot say that you have it and focus on the fact that your bank account is not where you want it to be, or your investments aren't where they want to be, or your gas prices are where you don't want them to be. You have to say to yourself when you go drive by the gas station, say, yeah, not my story. In my world, because I have it all, gas prices are lower. And yes, it can seem very like you're lying to yourself and a little mental, but that's how reality works. We have been so trained to just accept what everyone tells us about how reality works, about how gas prices go up during the summer, how gas prices are affected by XYZ, how food prices are affected by XYZ. But that's a story that we've all accepted, have been taught, but it doesn't have to be that way. That is not how reality works. And while I'm not a quantum physicist by education, just like breathing, I know how my lungs work. I understand what they do, but I don't know the inner workings of it. And that's kind of how I view quantum. We all are using the quantum in every moment. Just no one taught us how to do it. And we just were taught to accept the conditioning that the outside world told us and what we need to focus on to stay safe. And that's always from lack. It's from fear. It's just how the world has been designed. If you want to experience something different, you have to focus on something different. You have to take your attention back, your power back. Your focus is one of the biggest power sources that you have in your own authority and sovereignty. And that means that you have to not pay attention to all of the crap that's outside of you that you don't actually want. No one experiences the same reality. Absolutely zero. And this idea that we're all supposed to have the same reality is complete garbage. That's not how the field works. If you start to change your focus and say, I have, abundance is easy to get. It's easily they're giving me a word and I can't, easily reachable for everyone, then that is the world that you will create, and not the one of lack. But it requires you to be really, really aware of where you are putting your focus. And then when you see that the focus is not in the place that you actually want, you need to call it back and say, no, that's the old story. That's my old identity story. I no longer identify with them. In my new story, I have XYZ because I know I'm the authority over my reality. Not over everyone else's, just yours. And you have to believe that you have it all and focus on that no matter what the external world shows you. things won't shift right away. I'll be honest. Some people think, oh, instant manifestation. And I think eventually we'll get there after we go through this evolutionary jump that we're currently in. I think we will get instant manifestation. And I know people are experiencing that. But for regular people who are struggling to stay on the channel between have and have not and bouncing back and forth, just changing your focus will keep you in I have it more than not have it, by just choosing to focus on what you want and tell yourself the story of what you want instead of what the outside reality tells you and what social media and the news want you to focus on, so that you don't remember that you have this power, that your focus is the key for you having that life that you so desire to have. And it is within your reach, but it requires you to stay focused on it. No matter how long it takes, and time is an illusion. There is no linear time in the quantum field. That's a whole other topic. In my school group, Abundance Recoded, I have a whole 30-day program about time called Time Recoded, where we go in depth about how time is another place where we give our power away and how it actually controls us and prevents us from having what we want. So much of it is really tied into conditioning around time. And the program goes into that, but it also recodes so that you're operating more from quantum time, which is where anything is possible in any moment. So if you're interested in that, the links are below. It's for women if you're interested in it, and you're not a woman, you can schedule a session with me and I can help you unravel time and how that may actually be what's preventing you from having it. And that is one of the things our focus can be on that can delay us having it all. But that's for another topic. Today, it is about what are you focusing on? Are you focused on the future? Bringing in a little bit of time. The future is now, okay? There's no guarantee of the future. There's only guaranteed of this moment. So, what do you focus on now? And if you have it, if you truly believe that you have it now, not someday. I'll have it when I have X number of dollars on my bank account. X dollars is when I have the freedom, or when I have the partner. Those are all, you don't have it. And you're focusing on not having it. By saying you'll have it someday, you're focusing on not having it. And you have to know that everything happens right now, in this now moment, this breath, this time. It is how it is all written. But one last piece is to be careful that you're not focused on the past. It's another time thing. So many of us spend so much time retelling stories from the past. And in the quantum field, there is no past. And then, because your focus is there, you just keep reaffirming that same story from the past over and over and over again in your now moment. And in the quantum, the past isn't fixed. I'm not going to talk about that. That's quite an advanced topic and sometimes hard to explain. But here nor there, if you're spending a lot of time ruminating about the past, retelling yourself stories about things you don't want, or people that you're angry about, or upset about something else that happened in the past, the quantum field says, oh, you must want to experience more of that. And that's what you manifest. And that can become this hamster wheel that some people feel like they're like doing all the work, doing all the manifesting, and they're creating reality, quantum leaps, and yet they're doing all the things the world has told them to do. Climb the ladder, get the raise, Wall Street, whatever method you're using, doesn't matter. But if you're constantly telling yourself stories about the past, about how Wall Street works, or how hard it is to get a raise, or the fact that you only get a couple pennies, or nothing ever works out for you, look what this happened in the past, you are literally telling the quantum field that's what you want to experience more of, because your focus is somewhere on the past story that doesn't have to matter. Your past doesn't have to matter. This every now moment is new. So they're asking us, what are you focusing on in every now moment? Because that is the key, that is the gateway to you actually experiencing in the external reality of what it is to have it all. Where is your focus? And this is not goal setting. This is knowing in the now moment that you have it all. It is already with you. And believing that story and trusting yourself that you can and have manifested it into the physical more than what the external reality is telling you, whether it's the stories you tell yourself and the focus of what everyone outside of you is telling you from whatever source. And overriding that and choosing different. I don't feel like Sapphire wants to add to this today. I was channeling them a little bit in between, a little mix. So that is it for today, and we'll talk soon. Bye for now.